Josh Hoberman sat in the back of the black car and felt sick. As they cruised along the long track to the road, he watched the dark velvet of the trees swallow up his home and douse the porch light he had forgotten to switch off. The track to the main road was unpaved, and Hoberman had bought an SUV to make the daily trip from his home to the rail station where he made the thrice-weekly commute to his clinic in D.C. The rest of the week he worked at home, in isolation. The Crown Vic's suspension evened out the bumps and ruts in the road into gentler lunges and lurches, and the turbulence was mirrored in Hoberman's gut. "Where are we going?" he asked Ressler, who sat in the rear with him. The other two agents suited, silent ciphers in the front. Why had they sent 3 agents? "I guess you're going to D.C., sir, but I wouldn't know for sure," said Ressler with the same perfunctory politeness. Hoberman realized that to Ressler he was a package for delivery, nothing more. "We're only taking you as far as Culpeper Air Base. You're being picked up by helicopter there." "To go to Washington? It's only an hour and a half by car." "I really don't know where your final destination is, Professor Hoberman. I guess they'll be better able to inform you at Culpeper." They were on the main highway now, and Hoberman sat back in the leather and reflected on the nature of inherited memory and cultural memes. Hoberman was a Jew collected in the middle of the night by armed government officials who wouldn't tell him where his final destination lay. The grandson of a long-dead Jew collected in the middle of the night by armed government officials who wouldn't tell him where his final destination lay. The rest of the half-hour journey was silent, other than when the suit in the front seat made a call to say they were nearing rendezvous. Hoberman was only mildly surprised to see that Culpeper Regional Airport was closed at that time of night, but the security man gave a small salute and let the car pass through the gates. Gleaming under the airfield lights like some giant beetle, a large black helicopter sat on the runway, rotors already slugging into motion as the car pulled up. Ressler and one of the other agents guided Hoberman with irresistible courtesy beneath the swish of blades to where steps led up to the door. The man standing framed in the doorway was casually dressed in a black short-sleeve polo shirt, light-colored cargo pants, and an overdone smile. "Professor Hoberman," he extended his hand and his smile. "Thanks for coming at such an ungodly hour. I'm Agent Bundy. Let's get you comfortable." "Bundy?" "No relation," the Secret Serviceman said automatically, still smiling amiably, and stood back to allow Hoberman access to a small space between the pilot's cabin and an opposing door which Bundy slid open. Hoberman noticed that he was tanned and muscular, the professional muscles of someone whose job required brawn as well as brain. He also noticed that Bundy had the most striking eyes, dual-colored, the irises banded bright blue on the outside and pale hazel brown around the pupils. "This way, Professor Hoberman," said Bundy. The passenger cabin of the helicopter took Hoberman by surprise. It was bright and luxurious, with cream leather armchairs unlike anything he had seen in any airliner, whatever the class of seating. There was another man in the cabin whom Bundy introduced as Bob Ryerson. Ryerson was wearing a dark, expensive-looking suit and was indecently well-groomed and fresh for the time of night. His physique came out of the same box as Bundy's. "Is this Marine One?" Hoberman asked. Bundy laughed. "No, sir, the main helicopter used as Marine One is a bigger craft than this. But Marine One is any helicopter that has the president on board, and only if the president is on board. But you're right to think that this is an HMX-1 craft, Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, Presidential Executive Transport. Please take a seat and buckle up for takeoff, Professor Hoberman." "So you and Bob here," said Hoberman without taking his seat. "What are you, CIA, NSA, FBI, DHS, or have I missed something in our fine nation's clandestine alphabet soup?" "You could say all of the above," said Bundy, smile still in place. "I am officially an FBI special agent, but my job description has become flexible. Everything's become a little more integrated post 9/11, but Bob and I are both tasked with presidential security and protection, if that's what you mean. Please, Professor Hoberman, sit down and buckle up and we'll get underway." "Underway where?" Hoberman remained standing as resolutely as he could manage. "And why? I have a right to know where the hell you're taking me and for what reason." Bundy smiled indulgently.